Okay, so good evening everyone. Welcome to the Orientation for ATS Plus series. I hope you are familiar with the phenomena what is ATS, Augmented Test Series, just a terminology, and I deal with anthropology here. Okay. How many of you have read the syllabus once or gone through it or have taken any coaching, have the notes? Everybody, except you also have it? Okay. So we have read the syllabus once, right? Some of us has appeared for prelims as well. So for people who didn't write the mains examination, have we seen the question paper? Yes. What did you feel? That how much will you able to attempt in real time if you are sitting with that paper? What was your assessment of the paper on the basis of the study which you have done or the notes which you have at your disposal? Yes. It was okay. It was fine. Okay. So let's begin with the constituents of answer writing, because see, when I talk about ATS, my target here in test series is always to make sure that the content enrichment and framework of the answers improve, because everybody has content, there's overload of content. In fact, two things which are most important is that you have a framework as to how you are going to present your answer, and secondly, what kind of examples, references, articles, and case studies you're quoting. That is all what makes a difference. Have you all seen toppers' answer sheets and all? Have you seen them? So you must have an idea already that what kind of patterns are scoring more marks. Sir, वो हिलेगा लगेगा. आप वॉल्यूम चेक कर लो, ऑडिबल होगा ऑलरेडी. Okay, ठीक. So let me decipher the basics now. How are we going to deal with over here? Now see, this program basically is designed to make sure that you revise your syllabus in a timely fashion. That is the first motto. Okay, revision. And that is why you are going to have 3 tests, each for paper 1 and paper 2. And 4 will be full length tests. Okay, this is the framework or blueprint of the test series which we are planning over here. First aim is to revise, because no matter how many notes we have, the primary need is that I should be able to replicate what I have read in the exam. That is my primary interest. If I have read 100 types of notes, but I'm not able to write, again, that's a zero thing. So firstly, it will help in revision. Second, timely completion of your syllabus. Thirdly, we'll give you trend analysis of PYQs. Talking of this point, you all told that you have seen the question paper. Can you tell me any topic which has on and often being repeated in your mains examination? It's very at the outset. You can decipher by looking at it. What according to you is it? Can you tell me? Archaeology is a very wide branch. Again, human evolution is... What in human evolution? See, when he's saying archaeology, I can sum up every ancient India and medieval India together inside archaeology. I'm asking you a question, a topic which is coming on and often. Primates, again, classification, social group, it's a very wide topic. Okay. Rhodesian man, Narmada man, etc. Okay. Anyone? Yeah. Any other guess? That is a question. It didn't come this time, no? It has been repeated, yes. I'm asking a question which you saw in this year's paper, which you think is repeating on older patterns. A recent hint? Yeah, you were telling something. Marriage as an institution, okay. Okay, recently, who got the Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine? Who got? Pabo. For what? Paleogenomics, genome sequencing of Neanderthals. And who is the founder of Denisovin? He only founded it. Fine. Now go back to your question paper memory. Was there a question on Neanderthal this time? Was there a question on Neanderthal last time? See, this time we were being asked about the differences. Classical, progressive type, should we differentiate? What is the controversy? So human evolution as a term, you said it was right, but it is very broad. And I am targeting Neanderthal over here. Why? Because it is a controversial topic. You must have studied through your notes, you all must have studied from a teacher, and they might have told you that we do not have a unanimous decision on one phylogenetic tree for human evolution, right? We always say that when and whenever a kind of a discovery happens, we'll deviate the phylogenetic tree. So that is why that area is of controversy. It is being asked in different forms. Sometimes there is a short note. Sometimes there is a difference between Homo sapien and Neanderthal. Today they are asking us difference between classical and progressive type, and this was repeated from 1995. Look at the timeline they are looking over here. So these are certain topics which are in news, which are in recent activity, and then they are being asked. So Neanderthal, Denisovan, Homo erectus, and Homo sapiens sapiens. These are all areas of controversy, and we generally say that every year we have a question on that. So this is how PYQ analysis will help you. Even if you do not want to put your resources into a test series, the best investment you can do for yourself is sit and write PYQs and be true to yourself, no? In the correct time zone, in 3 hours, whether I'm able to complete or not. Okay, so the gist of the matter is that yes, there is a pattern of the question papers and the concepts around which we are being asked. So we are going to try and identify them here. Are you asking something? No, okay. Okay, my next target will be framework. Too many students come out with this particular question, whether I should go for a paragraph format of answer writing or point format. Okay, physical or biological anthropology is very tough for me. How am I going to attempt those answers? So there are too many questions around this. Why I'm using a broad term framework over here? Whatever content you have at your disposal, the way you're going to present it is at the end of the day going to fetch you marks, right? No matter how many notes we have made earlier. So to build a proper framework, answer writing is important. Because I might be confident I know everything about Homo erectus characteristic features. Once I sit down and write, there will be a format which I will follow. Whether it is a point format or I decide to give subheadings and explanations below them. I'll show you Gaurav Budania's answer sheet towards the end, and you will see that is what the pattern he had followed for both paper 1 and paper 2. So giving subheadings and explaining and giving examples. Recently, Shruti Sharma's answer copies are viral, no? You must have seen. She has used that flag kind of an indication for every example she is putting on in every topic. So these are certain frameworks which are working. And the same you have to do is for yourself. It is not that much about content than it is as much for presentation. Or what you know has to reach the examiner. So that is the next target for answer writing, your framework. Along with framework, we are going to build on the already existing content. For example, we all know what did the recent discovery mean, the Nobel Prize winner, what did he find? Let's discuss that in detail for once. Now tell me again, what is Pabo's discovery? Please tell me. Yes. Yes. Using which DNA? That is my point. Fossil is fine. Obviously, fossils sequencing, genome sequencing he has done, to be precise. Which DNA has he used? Mitochondrial DNA. Okay, see, here I am going into the specifics of the DNA also. So the catchphrase over here is that it was not any normal DNA which we are sequencing in our labs every day, but it is a mitochondrial DNA. If you want to decode that where was mitochondrial DNA as a topic used last, if you go back 2 years back, there was a topic 3-parent baby. Must have studied in science and tech. So there the entire issue was about mitochondrial DNA, right? So when he has deciphered that mitochondrial DNA, he has also talking about a new technique through which he was able to find that yes, this belongs to a Neanderthal. The next question was, there was no similarity in what he had discovered and what we as Homo sapiens have. That is why the discovery of a new category was given. So, see, these are certain nuances which you have to pay attention to. Everybody knows that yes, a Nobel Prize has come in medicine and it is an anthropology related question, but we should know the nuances also. And when you write mtDNA, you underline it and it gets highlighted in your answer sheet, and the examiner knows beforehand that you know this concept and you have studied it deeply. Okay, that is what I'm trying to mean when I say value addition and framework of answer writing, where you highlight the things which you know and they should reach the examiner, right? Next is content enrichment. We have already done this, and the main theme is practice. Okay, this is the reasons why this test series has been designed, how it is going to go, etc. The effort is going to be on our part. You are the ones who are going to write it, and I'll be the one who will discuss value addition classes with you. So here we have designed it in such a manner that before you write every test, we are going to have 2 value addition classes for every topic which you are going to study. Obviously, it will not be a kind of a re-strategizing for you. I'll not be telling you definitions of various thinkers, or we are not going to reteach everything, but we are going to take out some important aspects of topics. For example, sologamy. It was in news recently, yes, but it did not come in the exam. Do you know about sologamy? It was in news, no? You were saying yes. पढ़ा था पर भूल गए. You? तो इसी को डिस्कस करो. Do you know monogamy, bigamy, polygamy? Thank you. What is sologamy? हाँ. Yes, very good. Now, if I ask you, where do you situate sologamy in the institution of marriage? You all have studied the topic called marriage. You all know the definitions. Okay, we all know all of that. Now, if I ask you this simple question, where will you situate sologamy in the institution of marriage? Okay, before moving to sologamy, tell me for you, what is the definition of marriage? Simple. What is marriage for you? I'm not asking any thinker. I'm asking, what is marriage for you in simple terms? Okay. What else? That is one point of view, that is fine. Yes, rest of you. Nobody is giving you marks here. Let's make it interactive. You'll get to understand more. What would marriage mean to you? Or have you memorized the thinker's definition? You can tell me that. Memorize किया हुआ है सब कुछ? तो आप बता सकते हो. No issues. But I think, see, when you are approaching the exam and in the, all that panic of and anxiety of exam, if you're not able to recall that one definition clearly, which was given by a particular scholar, तो ऐसा नहीं है ना that you will leave the entire question and come. You will write. So I always say, students, that please make out your own definitions. That if I'm studying topic as a marriage, for example, what is marriage for me? How will I define it? How will I put it in my words? What is your understanding of marriage? Yes? Can I say a legally sustainable mutual relationship which has the authorization of bearing children's, right? Between 2 consensual adults. Can I say this? So this is covering all kind of genders also. It's not specifically to be said that only a female and a male person can be married. That is marriage according to me. Similarly, you will have your own definitions, right? So in that anthropological scenario where we trace that how marriage as a social institution has come up and come about to be, where do you situate sologamy? Why I'm asking you this question is because previously, in previous years, there was a question which was asked, where do you situate live-in relationships in the institution of marriage? I hope you might have seen that question as well. So it is on similar lines. Okay. Okay. Yes. Wrapping themselves into a cocoon. Okay. Can we also quote a case study over here? Excellent point of view, in fact. You must have read this in newspapers that during COVID, what happened? The divorce rates, no, they went significantly up. You must have read these kind of things. Because when people were having this work from home kind of a setting, yes, domestic violence was also on the rise. Yeah? Yeah. So you must have read these things. No, this was something which was studied by all of us. But how am I going to use this as an example in my answer? That is how I'm going to articulate to the examiner. No, that see, I know this. Otherwise, what we do is mechanically segregate the topics and we just memorize, and then we think it is not working out. But these kind of interlinkages can really go a long way. Okay. Now tell me, where will you situate sologamy in the institution of marriage? It is a 15 marker question. It is not like a short note which you can finish in one line. Try to come out with your thoughts. Yes? Yes. More evolved form of marriage, your take was fine. It is not socially acceptable. Okay. Okay. See, when you will write the answer, no, you will form subheadings related to this and you will explain. I'm supposing that is what is going to be your way of writing. So, what subheadings probably you will take? Yes? Yes, I'll start with her. I'll frame my answer. How will you frame your answer? First, an introduction. Yeah. Yes. Okay, okay, okay. Hmm. Yeah, the same point which we were discussing, and you will give those two examples. है ना? हाँ. आप अपनी सब हेडिंग्स बताओ सिर्फ उसके नीचे आप एक्सप्लेनेशंस डालोगे दैट इज फाइन आप मुझे अपनी सब हेडिंग्स बताओ व्हाई टाइप्स आई एम आस्किंग यू वेयर विल यू सिचुएट सोलोगैमी इन द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ मैरिज व्हाई विल आई टॉक अबाउट टाइप्स यस very good. Can I start like this? Recently, this form of marriage was in news because a girl from Gujarat married herself. Fine. Yes. Very good. So your first subheading will be what? Legality and acceptance in the society. Yes. So this is a good framework. You start with what is sologamy, give the example in the context in which it has been asked, and then you talk about its underpinnings. How will you conclude? Yeah? Yes. Okay, with a way forward, positive way forward, you're concluding. Okay. What about you, please? Conclusion भी नहीं. मोनोगैमी के बाद सोलोगैमी फिर पॉलीगैमी दिस इज ठीक है योर्स okay in Indian cultural scenario how sologamy can attain acceptance that is how you are going to conclude and you hmm. Hmm. Structure of marriage मतलब डेफिनेशन को इलैबोरेट करेंगे आप? ओके. क्रिटिसिज्म, फिर सोलोगैमी कहाँ पे आएगी इस आंसर में? क्रिटिसिज्म के बाद. ओके. ओके, सी इसमें एक प्रॉब्लम था इस फ्रेमवर्क में. सी दिस इज कॉल्ड फ्रेमवर्क. This is why I am asking you, because we all heard the news, we all knew what happened, but when it came to put into words, abhi to we are just discussing. When I tell you to write it in 150 words, everybody will stop and think what to write. This is called framework. आपके framework में थोड़ा सा there is a problem, because more than half of your answer you are catering to marriage and its criticism rather than addressing what is being asked directly. Question is asking me sologamy, no? So for half of the answer, I cannot go on elaborating about marriage definition, its types and criticisms. No. I have to begin with sologamy. That is why I think you people know also, whenever you look at a question, whether it is a test series or your mains exam, you underline the keywords. What is that they are asking you? Sologamy in the institution of marriage. So if this is marriage set, this is sologamy, I have to place sologamy here and explain. Your answer is catering to what critically analyze the institution of marriage. आप वो उसका आंसर दे रहे थे, right? Else, have you gotten an idea now what a framework means? So we have to be ready for these kind of answers impromptu. One more question which I would like to discuss in much detail with you. So do you know that Meghalaya's tribe was in news last year, since November 2021. Which tribe? Khasi. Why? No, वो already है. Okay, okay. Khasi ADC has proposed a legislation to change matrilineal system in Meghalaya to patrilineal system. This was the news. Now, the term which I have used here, I have used some keywords. What is an ADC? Under which schedule? Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Tripura. So schedule 6. Very good. Now, Khasi is a matrilineal tribe. This is the term which I have used. What is matrilineality according to you? What is matrilineality? Please tell me. हो गया? Yes, please. What is matrilineality for you? Identity. आप सब एक बार, you have studied your notes, you have studied everything. Please use anthropological terms. Identity means what? Should I use line of descent? Okay. Or residence? Use these terms. Okay. Please now keep on adding your points. This is a very important topic, and assuming you all have prepared for the prelims and you have given, I assume that you should be well aware about this topic. It was in current affairs and for a very long time. Okay, tell me. You are telling me that descent will be traced through the female line. Can I say this? What else? Head of the family will be the female member. Yeah? Yes. But when I say that matrilineality, I am talking about that the lineage is passing through the maternal side. So wherever the lineage is passing through the maternal side, the head of the family in most cases is a female. I am not using the term all cases. I'll tell you why. Yes, yes, you are. No, it's correct. That is the issue here also. Maternal uncle has the higher say. Yeah. Okay. I was gathering opinions. Let's not do right and wrong here. It's all right. Jisko jo pata hai. There is no right and wrong here. It is a discussion. I am not giving marks. So we'll come to that. I'll come to that eventually. Right now I am trying to gauge what you know and how you will approach. This is from paper 1 this year. So I am coming back to this. That is why I'm asking you, what is matrilineality according to you? Property, what property? Heir to the property. So it means the same thing, no? Descent, lineage, property, transfer, ancestral property, same. What else? Is more. Yes, that is the case with Khasis. Okay. How many matrilineal tribes, according to you, do we have in India? Can you name them? I'm not asking the exact number. If you can, remember things from your own preparation. We have studied another tribe also already in your preparation. I'm giving a hint if you can remember. Khasi, Nair, very good. Nairs, very good. Khasis. There are another tribe who are in close neighborhood of Khasis, Garo and Jaintia Hills. So the tribe goes by the same name. They are also matrilineal. Yes, we only have these many tribes in India. The rest of the system is all patrilineal. Okay? And that is why when this news came out that one of the more established matrilineal societies is trying to convert its system into patriarchal, it made a lot of noise because it is one of the last surviving matrilineal families or societies in India as a country. Now, what was the bill? If I talk about Khasi ADC, so, it's an autonomous district council which has legislative powers. So, what did they do in this bill? So, the issue was that generally, because of matrilineal rules of descent, the youngest daughter used to get the share of property, ancestral property. And she was mandated to live in her mother's house till her death. The rest of the siblings, whether they are male or female, they are allowed to marry and relocate. Okay, but she has to stay there in the ancestral house. She has to take care of her parents. And her husband will move in with her over there. This was the whole scenario, the setup. But the head who would decide all these affairs, who was providing for the family in terms of money for every day, running the household, etc., was coming from the mother's brother. So even though under this whole ideology, at the upfront we are saying that it's a matrilineal society, but if you talk about the power, the hands of power, they were still lying in a male member of the family. Okay, this was the construct. Now, in spite of this, why there was a demand to move entirely to a patrilineal system? Because the people over there said that the male members in the family are not getting any kind of a remuneration from the family. For example, if I am a marginal farmer and I am a male member of the Khasi family, I will not get any share of property. So I cannot apply for any bank loan. I cannot have any kind of a guarantee. So these were the kind of concerns which were flagged. And the highlight was that the rest of the siblings are haywired. They have nothing at their disposal. This was the whole reason why they said that we also have to move to patrilineal system, just like the rest of the country. Okay, so this was in news. Now see, they did not ask the question directly. What are they asking here? Discuss how the rules of descent contradict the principles of residence in matrilineal society. What is a rule of descent in matrilineal society? That the female child will trace. Fine, till here you are able to identify. Principle of residence. Have you used the terms neo-local, matrilocal, patrilocal, duo-local? Must have heard of these terms. So they are asking us in matrilineal societies how principles of descent are contradicting principles of residence. What does this mean? How will you approach this question? This is about matrilineality and the context I have given you. Any ideas? Okay. Obviously. So he has to move around. So he's living, ideally he's providing for two families. One is his own and one is his sister's family. Okay, so generally if you read articles over there, there are multiple articles on and review research papers on matrilineal society, especially Khasi. So they say that that particular male member is providing for two families, and in the daytime he is going to his ancestral home, and in the night time he has to come to his wife's home, and that is how the transit goes on. Apart from that, in the light of recent changes which have been seen, it is largely seen that matrilocal residences are no longer a preference for these tribal people now. I'm using the term no longer a preference. That means the hardcore boundaries are being breached and a certain degree of fluidity has crept about. That is why there are neolocal residences which have been taken up by couples. Neolocal means setting up a new residence altogether, neither your house nor my house, right? And another term which I used was duolocal. This is in light of the discussion which we had right now, that the maternal uncle is at two residences within 24 hours of the day. That is called duolocal. Or sometimes you stay with one family and at other times with the other family. So though here we are talking about matrilineality, the rule of descent says it has to trace through the female line. Ideally, according to the definition, the resident should be matrilocal. But nowadays, it is not matrilocal. It is changing into neolocal, duolocal, and in some cases, patrilocal also. So that is how rules of descent are contradicting with the principles of residence. And here they have said us that you have to give suitable examples. One case study is of Khasis, okay, and another case studies you can quote of the rest of the tribes also. There are another tribes in southern part of India, only Edavas. Okay, one Nayars, post-independence, Nayars have stopped being a matrilineal society and they have conformed to the patrilineal norms. Okay, Nayar is just a case study for anthropology now. In flesh and blood, they don't exist anymore in matrilineal form. Okay, it is an ancient story, but yes, still, pre-independence era, they still belong to matrilineal side. Is the question clear? So see, this is the kind of interlinkages which we are talking about. We cannot expect that directly, if I ask you about Khasi ADC, the same question will come. Another question which could have appeared from the similar framework was, in Khasi ADC, what was the recent legislation which was proposed? Critically analyze. So UPSC has a habit of asking it like this also, where you list out all the provisions and address the pros and cons of them. That was also a probable question, right? So this is how you have to dig into current affairs. Clear? Want to add anything? Anyone? Yeah? We have to be prepared for every part of this thing. So test series does this, no? So in my test series, I actually asked that question, that recently ADC has passed this particular law. What is your take on this? Critically analyze if the entire country turns into patrilineal form. Already we have a lot of news where women obstruction has been there, and still now you are moving with another patriarchal step. In the light of all this feminist movement all around, how is this going to sit good with the rest of the population? I am giving you, see, we cannot replicate exact questions. The thing is, the concept will get revised. At least you'll have a case study to quote. You will know what is Khasi ADC, what is their bill, what is the current status of the bill, by the way. Has it reject ho gaya? Discussions? Has it been put to discussions or it has been rejected entirely? So this is also another thing you have to do. Current status of any legislation. So now if we are using this particular case study in our future answers, we have to have this in mind also, though it was rejected after that. Okay, it can have? Yes? Yes? Subjective hai, UPSC, you can give any argument. Yeah. Please tell me. क्या है आपका काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट? सपोर्टिंग आर्ग्यूमेंट्स तो दोगे ना उसको वो स्ट्रॉन्ग करने के लिए. हाँ. Yes. It's like it's as it is suitable for the family, they are going with the flow. But then how will we give examples? वो भी ठीक है, बट ये पूछ रहे हैं कि हाउ डू दे कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट. एड्रेस हिंदी में देख लो कैसे करते हैं. हाउ वी हैव टू एक्सप्लेन हाउ. इफ दे आस्क अस व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन दिस, see if I rephrase this question, in matrilineal societies rules of descent and rules of residence contradict each other. What is your take on this, or what are your views? उसमें आप काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट ले सकते हो. ये तो डायरेक्टली दे आर आस्किंग यू हाउ डू दे कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट, तो वो हाउ का तो आपको आंसर करना पड़ेगा. nice. हाँ राइट. Obviously. I'll come to another thing right now. I'll come to your point later. I have included that as a last topic for today. Abhi is topic se anything else? I'll discuss that one now then. See, these are some article headlines which I have taken. These are about Khasis only. So there are some, in fact, this is from BBC, that website which quotes about all over the world. So they had written an article on Khasis, and this traveler says that when she was going through the vegetable markets of Meghalaya, she saw that there were strong vegetable vendor heads who were women and who were ordering men around. Okay, in our cities it's exactly the opposite. You see less number of women in the ordering phenomena, though there will be a lot of women in the Monday market of Karol Bagh also, no doubt. But how much percentage of those women are in authorization, yield the power? That is what is seen in case of Khasis. And there is a title which is given to female elder. She is called Mai or Mei, and she is the controller of the trade. So even though maternal uncle has a say in case of any kind of decisions related to the transfer of property, etc., but it is true that in these societies women have a stronghold. Okay, descent is just one part. If you talk about the overall social life and command women have in such societies, it's really very much opposite to what we experience here. Okay, so that youngest daughter is given a specific title called Khadu because she is the ayar. Okay, only the youngest one, not the rest of them. So each one of them has the specific authorizations and specific tasks to be performed. These are some of the snippets which I took. So see, matrilineal societies exhibit interesting variety of residence patterns, like a man residing with his wife's matrilineal kin. This is called matrilocal type of residence. Wife residing with her husband's matrilineal kin. Okay? Couple settling down together in a new residence, or two living with their respective natal groups following the duo-local pattern. I live with my parents, you live with your parents. Okay, two families at one go. Okay, these are some references which we would have given. This we have discussed more or less about the phylogenetic tree which we were talking. So for forthcoming examinations, if you are eyeing, you have to be clear with this particular species also, because the kind of controversy Neanderthal has gathered, it can be a similar thing for Denisova also. It can be asked as a long question. So it will be better if we have a ready-made prototype that, see, this is my framework, this is how I will approach this question, and then when the exam comes, it becomes a bit easier for us. This is the entire story. Okay. Okay, fine. Before this, let me discuss this, because you were asking about that particular aspect, no? Your question was assimilization of tribes in the majority scenario context. This was what you were asking, no? Hmm. Why can't the rule of descent and these be different? Okay. Okay, why not with the matrilineal tribes also? Okay, okay. So why not they convert to patriarchal society? What is the harm? Yes. You can use it at your own risk. As you know, it is politically incorrect, and I assume you will use it in your conclusion statement, right? Okay. And you see, we are sitting in the world where everywhere women rights are too much at a center of attention. We have had so many feminist movements in layers and waves: first wave, second wave, third wave. Why would you want to write such a thing for matrilineal tribes? I would say don't do that. It will end up deducting your marks. Hmm. You can use it as a positive, provided you give a counter argument towards the end that, however, under the garb of the entire discussion, we as a society have to make sure that we still have women in leadership roles, and we have to preserve them. As has been seen recently, Santhal woman has been erected as the first citizen of India. Okay? President, she's a Santhal. So that is, you can give a positive example like that, even though assimilation is happening, but this is also happening. But that is also another set of a new debate, whether it is symbolic or a substantive move. That is also another thing, okay? But make sure that you use these things in a positive manner. That is what. Because as a part of the services also, you have to conform to the strategies of the government. आप मोर्चा लेके तो नहीं जाओगे that no protest against ADC if you are posted in a particular district, because you represent the government, you will move with the government only. But then you know how things work. So when you write an answer, make sure that you think your way through it and then write it. Okay. Talking of this, we all have studied detribalization. Padha hoga detribalization. What was it? Detribalization. Examples of such tribes? Can I say this has happened? Where some tribal populations have given up their own norms to whom they revere in the majority domain. The same example she was quoting, no? Examples, please. Any, yeah? Bhil, okay, good. Munda, very good. Gond, Orao, yes. What kind of shift in those cultures have you seen? Can you give me some example? Todas, anyone? Todas ka koi example? Okay, हाँ. Agriculture sector में as in working as laborers or contract farming? किस sector में? Be specific, ना? Agriculture sector. Example. नहीं, पर मैं आपका पॉइंट क्या है? आप कास्ट सिस्टम के पॉइंट्स बता रहे हो? Tribes have included themselves. This is your point. Okay. Examples I was asking. Examples matlab real time examples. See, the names of all the tribes you have given is not wrong. And I know that you have studied this. Obviously, aap koi bhi example doge, it is true only. Specifically in that hinterland of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, we have seen lot of tribes conforming to the majority order. We discussed what? Nayars. Okay. That was through a legislation. After independence, 1948, we had a legit legislation which converted Nayars from matri to patrilineal societies. That was by law. But detribalization is something which is happening because of acculturation. Yes? That is the example which I was asking you. For example, if you look at the way of dressing pattern has changed among tribal women, they have conformed to the Hindu rituals. Okay, wearing a sari and wearing a sindoor and all these things. Why? So that they should be accepted in the majority sphere. They get jobs easily. Because the livelihood of tribal people through the ancient times was dependent entirely on forests. But what has happened with deforestation and coming of the FRA Act, etc., their livelihood has been robbed. So they do not have an economic mean to thrive as they had earlier on. So what is the option they are left with now? That let's conform to the majority outset. Okay, going to the nearby towns and cities to work as house helpers. Okay, as artisans, you must have seen no basket weaving and all such things. These are all examples of detribalization. And I particularly asked you an example of todas. So there is a reason behind this. Can you tell me what is the mainstream occupation of todas? Very good, pastoralism. And what is the status now? No, no. What is the status of pastoralism now for todas as a community? How successful it is? Yes, yes, very good. What are they doing then? It's all right. It's all right. See, initially, Todas were entirely pastoral communities, and by that we mean that they were surviving on selling milk and milk based products. In fact, if you see, there's a documentary on Todas also. It's a 40 minutes documentary on YouTube. If you look at you will get the outset entire thing. What kind of god they worship, what is the kind of huts they live in, and what is their diet. Their diet was just rice and curd or buttermilk and butter. Just that, no vegetables, nothing else. But what has happened now? They are not able to sustain their life just on the basis of dairy products. And now they have shifted to the nearby hinterlands, working as bus drivers, conductors, house helps, etc. And they come back in the evening back to their own neighborhoods. So they are transporting themselves to and fro every day to sustain themselves economically. This is also detribalization, though it is majorly because of economic constraints in each of the cases. If you see, same is the case with the tribes in the Bundelkhand area also. Okay, economic reasons are the first ones, and secondly, you all know the kind of developmental projects which have been taken up, whether it's a dam or it's a national park or a wildlife sanctuary, anything, it displaces a lot of population. And in fact, the people who were displaced during Narmada Bachao, they haven't been rehabilitated till now. So what can we say of more recent projects? So economic distress is one of the major reasons that why detribalization actually started or initiated in the very first place. So these are examples of detribalization. It is there in our syllabus also. But if I talk about the opposite concept, retribalization, have you heard of this? Any example? Yes, again, examples. Okay, very good. Again, see, asking for that particular status has a reason of economic security only. Reservation notice. हाँ वो तो it is for economic. When I talk about retribalization, I mean that in my heart and soul, I'm going back to the original traditional way of life which I, as a tribal person, was living. Hmm? Okay. Okay. Well, that is also a case study. Okay. Okay, let me give you one example of this. Anybody heard of Pathalgadi movement? Heard of it? No one? आपको पता है? बताओ. मालूम नहीं. No, no one. Okay. So ये लिख लो फिर. ये पता नहीं है तो क्या डिस्कस करूं? पता होना चाहिए. So basically what happened, it's a particular tribe, and if you look at the name itself, पत्थर से source किया गया है, the term itself. So these tribe in Jharkhand, they have started erecting stone structures in the state and writing their own constitution. Okay. जैसे in front of a particular burial site, you have a tombstone, na? They are erecting very large sized stone tombs in the area which they claim is theirs, and they are writing their own rules over there, their own constitution. This is the exact case. This is what retribalization means, where you are fighting back not just for reservation or for jobs or for social security, but to snatch back your own way of life. Okay, where they do not want to abide by the laws which the Indian government has made, and they believe that Gram Sabha is the most supreme body. Okay, so this is one excellent example. So retribalization can be asked. Detribalization we have been studying for years now. Okay. Huh. Tattoo. Huh, obviously. Yes, yes. Everything is again mainstreaming in majority of the population also. Hindu majorly are adopting all these things. Yes, tattoo is an excellent example. It's a modern variant of that ancient kind of artist which we have seen. Okay, so this concept is clear. See, this is the aim of test series. You will come across topics like these, and you will come across concepts like these, which you can use in your answers if you do it diligently. So there are people who write 2 tests and then they don't turn up. But unke liye to it is like baseless and useless only. But this is what I'm targeting over here. That your preparation adds some value to your existing content, and you do not remain in a cocoon that you're only revising a certain set of topics. Okay, it is meant to open the way you think. That's it, nothing more. And the same can be established by analyzing PYQs also. I am stressing again and again. I am not saying that this is one foolproof method. No. These are some efforts in the direction where we can guess, okay, what UPSC is going to ask. Oh, this is that Pathalgadi image. Okay, so Adivasi, Kutum Parivar Adivasi, they have written over here and they have written their rules. Yeah. Yes, yes. In fact, India has so many endangered languages now. We have not gotten into any efforts to preserve those languages. What is the reason why we are not able to preserve tribal languages? Yes, some of them lack script, but has the government done any kind of an effort to codify the last speaking people also? For example, in 2016-17, there was a language which went extinct. It was from Andaman, it was named Bo, B-O. The last woman who spoke it, she died and the language died with her. So if even if there is not a script, there was a dialect. So we do not have courses in such languages. We do not have people who want to become teachers in such languages. We don't have textbooks in such languages. So that is the reason why we have the highest number of endangered languages in the world. If you look at the UNESCO list which talks about India's languages. Yes. Yes. That is also retribalization. Yes, exactly. This is what we are talking about. Go far from just claiming economic status or reservations. Go widely far away from that and take examples like these, where we are trying to relive the tribal culture again, where tribal people are claiming their identity back. That हमें हिंदी नहीं पढ़नी है, हमें ये पढ़ना है. For example, in southern parts of the country, when there was a proposal to declare Hindi as a national language officially and introduce Hindi compulsorily in every classroom, it was detested, no, a lot. That because the place where you belong to, you have to know the mother tongue first, no? The rest of the languages come secondary. It is same with the tribals also. Excellent example again. You can use it. You want to add anything else? No? This another question I have taken from paper 1. Does anyone want to answer this? So before this, tell me one thing. In your notes where you have written about Indian thinkers and all that list you have, did you have B.R. Ambedkar? Did you have him? No. Everybody only had the traditional list which we generally have. And we all know that when we talk about caste system, by default, we should talk about Ambedkar. Did you think this after looking at this question? The biggest propounder who was anti-caste was him, and we are not reading him in the syllabus. We think that it is not a part of our syllabus, right? And we all know his work, Annihilation of Caste. Naam sabko pata hai, content? है ना? So we have to be prepared for such things also, because if you look at it, it seems like so obvious. How did I leave this? ऐसे लगेगा when you're talking about caste system and you're not talking about him. He's one of the greatest pioneers of criticisms of caste which he has done. But look at the question now. Still, they are not asking you about criticism of caste system given by Ambedkar. They are asking us about origin. They are asking about the theory of origin. Now, if you go back to your notes, if I generally lucidly ask you, what is your take on theories of origin of caste system? Everyone will tell, no, divine origin hypothesis, Purushartha hypothesis. Everybody is ready to write it like that. But what is the origin of caste system according to Ambedkar is what we have to write here. And in 15 marks. Any points of view? Koi idea? Any idea of Ambedkar which you know? What according to Ambedkar sustains caste system in this country? What is his central idea? Anything which you can think of which is? Yeah? Manusmriti के anti थे ये. हाँ. But I'm asking again, origin. Question is asking me origin of caste system according to Ambedkar. आप criticism बता रहे हो ना? वो तो correct है. He was against caste system. That is why he wrote so much. None of us knew this question, I know, because see, most of us do not have this in our notes. Traditionally, it is not covered. So it came as a surprise. But, okay, let us look at the material related to this. Yeah? Yes? Thus? Is that according to Ambedkar? It's according to you. है ना? It is your idea, it is fine. But the question is asking you particularly about a thinker, Ambedkar, no? So, see, this is from eGyankosh, like free material which is available online. So, when you come across such things, no, when you're doing PYQ analysis, so sit and think that if I'm studying caste system, what all can I include over here? For example, if I talk about the extremist movement in modern Indian history, I will want to read, no, why Bhagat Singh was supporting the extremist vibe and not the moderate vibe. Most of you must have read his book, his small booklet also, no, which he wrote from the jail. Why I am an atheist? No one? Similarly, this is also on similar lines, Annihilation of Caste, which was given by B.R. Ambedkar. So let us take a view that what was Ambedkar's idea of caste system. If you look at a question and you don't know the answer to it, so छोड़ो मत कि ये आ चुका है, अब ये आएगा नहीं next year, so what is the use? Try to go through the idea. What was caste according to Ambedkar? What was the origin? What is his take? It will widen your horizon, no? And you can use it in your future answers if you have to do a comparative analysis. And wherever possible, you will quote thinkers, no? According to Ambedkar, the centrism of caste ideology is endogamy. This is what he says. So you can use this term in your other answers, no? Where you are comparing points of view on caste. This is interlinking. Don't think that this question has appeared this time, it will not come next time. Obviously, it will not come. But maybe the knowledge you seek from here will come in prelims, or you can use it in your mains answer somewhere else. Okay. So decode the PYQs. That is the central idea of this preparation. Don't ignore the PYQs. So this is a material which I've just taken to showcase you what is the idea. Oh, I'm not able to find that term. I'll send a link also then. See, here. Endogamy means creation of caste. This is the central theme. For him, endogamy is the reason why caste has been created. Now, he has given a lot of supporting arguments also. Let us look at this. What was the reason behind which he narrowed down to this? We all have studied lineage, kinship, moiety, fratry, everything. And we know who practices exogamy and who practices endogamy. Everything you know. So you know by that definition that caste practices endogamy. You marry within your caste. Now, Ambedkar says that suppose there are two scenarios. A wife dies. Second scenario, a husband dies. In both the cases, if one of the spouse is dying, there is a surplus person. Surplus person means what? A person who is not married to anyone, not committed, and that person is considered to be surplus. According to him, he has used that term. Now, he tries to arrive at a solution for both these cases. For example, if a husband dies and the woman has become a widow now, what are the possibilities of her being treated by the Hindu society in the caste in which she is living? How will she be treated according to you? Maltreated is a very broad term. First case is sati. So we are talking about Ambedkar, so go back to the time from where he is tracing caste. He is talking about hardcore ideologies which were believing in caste. So the first solution to clear off that surplus woman is let her burn on the pyre of her husband. What happens by then? She will not be surplus. That means she will not create any kind of a nuisance. There will be no probability of her marrying outside the caste. So the story is finished. Second case, where the wife dies and the husband again is surplus. The chances of remarriage here are more than they were in case of the woman. And even if remarriage is proposed, it will be within the caste. Because the society prohibits marriages across castes, and more so for a widower or a widow. So he says from his particular point of view that if I trace caste system at that point in time, burning a woman was considered to be more easy than remarrying her to somebody outside the caste. So he says this vicious cycle keeps on continuing, and this way people always stay within a caste, and indirectly they are also creating a caste. This is his ideology. It might sound confusing to you, but see, he has taken all these examples and he has explained this in very much detail. That is why his central theme is endogamy breeds caste system. This is his theory. And in that answer, we had to critically analyze this point of view. Okay, we had to critically analyze this point, that endogamy breeds caste system. What are the positives, negatives, or neutral points of this particular ideology? Okay. So whenever you read such things, no, though they might not be mentioned in your syllabus outrightly that you have to study Ambedkar's view, but since it has appeared now, take a look, try to gauge what his point of view was, add it to your notes, use it in other things, no? If there is a question directly on theories of origin of caste system, now you have additional point to write to your existing notes. And that will be more than a normal person who is writing a normal answer sourced from the same notes, whether it is Vad sir or whether it is Anthropology Simplified, Vivek Bhasmi sir's book, anything. Everybody is following the same sources. Okay, we are in the race where we should be able to score better than your competitor. That's it. Relative competition. Okay. So this was one reference. Please, I have took this PDF specifically to highlight this. It's there free of cost. E-Gyan Kosh pe aisi dikhti hai. So please read this particular point of view. It will be useful for your GS also. The kind of abstract essays you are getting, you can use this particular point here. Okay. Anything else you want to ask regarding the test series? So there are some queries which I had. Let me discuss them first. Navratan, is Navratan here? You. So you have asked difference between ATS and ATS plus, and with respect to enrichment material provided, mode of discussion, offline and online. It will be both offline and online, as you can see right now also. We mainstream every class we have. And in most of the cases, it is live. So I generally have a laptop here where I interact in real time with the students. So whatever they want to ask, they type it also if they are in online mode. Otherwise, offline is offline, just as you know. Your second question was difference between ATS and ATS plus. Number of tests are same. Okay, there we have one value addition class, one discussion class, 1 hour each. Value addition before the test, then you have the test, and then discussion of the test. This is the series. Here we have enrichment classes. For one test, we have 2 enrichment classes. This is the difference. So in terms of value addition and content enrichment, here we are having 2 classes. There we are having 1 classes. This is the difference. Scheme of the test is same. 6 plus 4, 6 plus 4. Mentor, now you know, it's me. Now you ask mentor also. Okay. Is Rubina here? No? She has asked, is the session available online? Yes, it is. Sai Srinija, if I have difficulty in certain topics, how can I get help? You come and ask me. That is how you get help, Shri. Okay. Kavya has not asked anything. Rupal, is Rupal here? Rupal has asked, learn anthropology answers and value addition to what extent and how to do. So see, since I have told you the entire scheme that you have 3 sectional tests from each paper. So you will have a particular section which you have to prepare and come and then you write the answer. So that does with the memorization part. And that depends on you that how much you are able to memorize. Last year I had a student from the ATS test series. She was writing mains, I mean this year, 22. She came after the prelims. And when she gave a mock test, she was able to attempt 10 questions. And 2 days before anthropology mains examination, she wrote the last full-length test of anthropology and she attempted all the questions. So she had this issue where she was not able to recollect things in exam, but she had the background knowledge of everything. She said, I have completed the syllabus, but when I sit to write, I'm blank. So she progressed from 10 to 20 in that 1.5 month period with writing these 8 to 10 tests. So this is subjective, varies from person to person. This is the purpose of dividing these papers into 3 sections so that you have a portion of a syllabus which you have to revise. And when you work on that, I think it can be done. If there, yeah, yes. Whatever works for you, no? See, suppose you have studied the entire syllabus twice already. So now one revision will work for you. But if there is somebody who has not touched the syllabus in, say, about 1.5 years, they will do 5 revisions also. It depends on how much you are able to remember. Rather, you should ask that how to remember or how to make things remember more easily. You all have seen Spectrum. स्पेक्ट्रम के हर चैप्टर के एंड में यू मस्ट हैव सीन दैट समरी बुलेट 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 so when you want to revise the chapter which you have read, it is good to go to that summary and look at the heading revolt of 1857 reasons. So I should be in a second able to recollect the picturized image of all the reasons which led to the revolt. You can do similar head points for the part which you are weak in. Some of you in physical or some of you in social. You divide your notes into these kind of subheadings and then you do backward deconstruction, whether you are able to remember things by looking at the subheadings or not. You have to reach that level where if you look at the heading on Neanderthal, classic and progressive, it should come like a printout in your brain that, see, this is what I will write over here. And that can come in 5 revisions for someone and for others in 1 revision. That is a subjective thing. But this can make things easier if you are. Still not able to complete it. How many tests have you written? 15 to 20 you have written and still your speed is there only. Did you speak to your teacher and that mentor? Crossing the word limit. आपको मैं बताऊं what is your issue? You want to write everything which you know about that topic in a specified page. Yes. कि मेरे को जो आता था इसके बारे में I have to write everything. In Anthro, you're not able to do that. Okay. So for this one technique which worked for my that student who wrote mains this year, no, she has attempted all the answers in mains. She came after the exam to tell me this. I told her this strategy that you take up a timer of 7 minutes and you attempt 1 question. So she used to attempt 2 questions per day initially like this. वो टाइमर में फोन में स्टॉप वॉच लगा के she used to write. And then she used to think that in those 7 minutes, what kind of an answer she has written. content enrichment है कि नहीं, handwriting, presentation. Basically, whether you are justifying your idea of an answer. Each one of us has a perfect answer idea, ना, that it should look like this, it should be like this, मेरी handwriting ऐसी होनी चाहिए, pen ये होना चाहिए. जब आप fastly लिखते हो, are you able to adhere to those limits which you were adhering to in question number 1? No. So set that thing in 7 minutes. Have you done this? Two questions per day also. Don't stop doing that. That means you need more practice of speeding up your handwriting. That is the long-term thing. Don't stop that with Anthro, not with GS. With GS, you are fine, no? With Anthro, do one thing. Have you made your notes in ready format? Everything is ready. Take up a topic like Homo erectus, short note. I have to write it in 7 minutes. If today you are taking 10 minutes, tomorrow take up another topic, Australopithecine, write it in 7 minutes. Don't stop this exercise. Okay, that will also come with writing. Now, in what part are you struggling in conclusion for every topic? Or there is social anthropology which is troubling you, or physical or archaeological? कौन सा part? It is static, yes. Balanced conclusion. So what do? You start thinking while writing, or you have issue with remembering what to write? You start thinking. Then do one thing, prepare ready-made prototypes for every topic. अपने हिसाब से आपके prototype बना लो. If Homo erectus is coming in 15 marks, according to me, this should be the answer. Take your time, write a very good answer. Research करके, research articles पढ़ के, whatever satisfies you. Then memorize that. And wherever you encounter this topic, your degree of memorization should be such that you're able to replicate it as it is in your exam. That will save you time. If you're struggling with content enrichment in the exam hall, it's better to do it early and memorize. Of a thinker. Yes. In that case, you're dissatisfied with the subject, I think. It could be a possibility. Yes. A timer. Mm. Hmm. Okay. So when you are progressively doing the same exercise, the same problem is persisting. Overload. No, you should write what is relevant and what is being asked. Don't digress from the topic, what is being asked. Make a ready-made prototype in that page. Even then you are exceeding word limit. Do you write in paragraphs or in points? Okay. हाँ, मतलब you are using subheading and content and example, which is fine. You need to write more. Only then you will, yes. You have to consciously make an effort to wrap your answer. Try to write a concise answer. Don't repeat things. Don't try to write 3 scholarly definitions Don't do that. Write one definition. अभी marriage पूछा है according to, you're writing 3 scholars and 3 definitions. It's waste. नहीं. See, according to anthropology, even you are a thinker. Do you remember postmodernist idea of anthropological theory? That is why when I was discussing that sologamy thing, I asked you what is your definition of marriage. Please use one definition, whatever suits you. Whatever. And it is a very subjective thing. And for some of us like me, I do not find solace in any kind of definition of marriage which was given by those thinkers back then, because they were having a very binary point of view. It should be a man, a woman, and a legitimate child. Now you have traversed all those boundaries, LGBTQ rights are there. So why do you want to concise yourself in that traditional mold of definition of marriage? You can create your own definition, or you can use one scholarly reference. Don't write 5 definitions in one answer. That is the problem. One definition which should be relevant in your introduction, body of the answer, conclusion. ऐसे तो फिर आप कितना है भी लिख सकते हो. नहीं. Do conscious efforts, learn to filter things, what is relevant and what is irrelevant. Okay, your problem will come with more and more writing only. I think your problem more of is you're not satisfied with what you're writing. So you think that I have to write the perfect answer, and you overthink while writing. That is... Okay. So you're writing a subheading, then elaborating it and converting it into a paragraph. Again, conscious effort चाहिए इसके लिए. Use 2 bullet points below that. Try to cover your points in the form of flow charts or diagrams. Venn diagrams, उसमें points बना के लिख दो. Innovate with your answers. Have you seen Vivek Bhasmi's book, Anthropology Simplified? थोड़ा सा insights वहाँ से लो. वहाँ पे हैं diagrams and all those things. Toppers के answer sheets देख लो. टॉपर्स की मार्क्स आंसर शीट नहीं मिलती आपको. 2-3 मेरे पास हैं. आई विल गिव यू एज अ रेफरेंस. ओके, दिस इज गौरव, लास्ट टू लास्ट ईयर आई गेस. See, this is his first answer. When we write a test, what is our idea of first answer? Handwriting अच्छी होनी चाहिए. And I will use black pen, blue pen at the same point in time. I will write everything I know. My answer should be perfect. These kind of biases which we have, they will vanish till you reach to the last question. And in the last question, you will end up being messy. To highlight that, look at the handwriting and presentation here. Usage of one pen, okay? And handwriting is legible. We are not talking about cursive or impressive writing here. It is legible, good to read. I can identify what is this person writing. The question was basic personality and modal personality. So he has in this introduction only told us who gave the concepts. Okay, some of us will try to give the exact definition by Cora Dubuis and we'll start elaborating here itself. But look at this. Only given the name of the scholars and then explained what is basic personality, what is modal personality, answer over. See. Basic personality, usage of this particular flowchart to explain it. And then modal personality, same thing, finish it over here. So it is up to us, no, that how within 150 words you have to wrap up that particular short note. Rather than explaining what was Cora Dubuis' ideology in very much detail, I can write a 300-word answer for this also. It's just a sample, whatever suits you. This was about neo-evolutionism, and look at the parabolic curve he has used over here, and he has used annotations S1, S2, S3 to designate the progression of processes. So actually neo-evolutionism and Leslie White, the concepts of energy, they are much of a scientific topic, so it is good to incorporate flowcharts and diagrams here. So maybe there is a thing which you want to represent in the form of an answer, in the form of a written paragraph, you squeeze it over here itself. This can be one aspect. Okay, whatever helps you, because I have not seen you people writing. I don't know what you are lacking in, but at least after talking to two of you, I have understood that we are trying to be perfectionists and we are looking for ideal kind of a coverage, that I should write whatever I know about the topic. It should be up to my benchmark level, which is very highly exceptional. So that is too much of a load on you. Rather, look at the question and cater to exactly what they're asking. These are some very simple and lucid answers. There's not much of a detailing over here. If you have seen Shruti's answers of GS, they are in the market only, the forum test series she wrote. If you look at her answers, have you felt that it's not like very deep or rocket science examples? It's like she has written the correct thing at the correct place with a correct example. That's it. Very lucid and all those things. The content is same. वो content आपको भी पता होगा, आपके notes में भी होगा. Try to look at her answers. You will see this. The only thing is presentation and framework and the interlinkages she had in mind, that here I have to write this example. So maybe don't go to an ideal presentation pattern where you are setting a kind of a bar very high for you and crossing the word limit. Try to squeeze in time, set a timer, finish the answer in that time, no matter how ugly your answer is. First, improve your timing, then improve your content. And that will come with simultaneous improvement in the framework, how you are framing your answer. That is the entire thing. So if he is writing a point and explaining it and turning into a paragraph, it is doubling of the same thing. And if I am writing only points and not explaining, that is too simple. There has to be an equilibrium, no, for everything. And that is in our hands. It will come with practice. Do not stop that practice. Continue with it every day, you will achieve it. I have a student in front of me. In 2 months, she has finished that mains examination in time. She was at 8 answers. 8 to 10 was her range in both GS and anthropology. Okay, so practice will do the thing only. Same structural analysis of kinship. Look at the introduction. The best part of this person's answer sheets is that he has not crossed 4 to 5 lines for introducing a particular concept. No big introductions. Only the name of the scholars, that Levi-Strauss's idea, elaborated by Edmund Leach, and it looks for every cultural trait as a structure of binary opposite. He has used all the terminologies of the concept in the introduction itself. And it is very concise. It might look simple also. Okay, but then he has scored a very good score in anthropology, he has got. Yes, you have to concise whatever you know into a stipulated page. It's more of a complex thing to do. You can run in pages. College mein likha hoga pages and pages, rambling without any logic. But you have the content with you. You frame it in such a manner that it is relevant to the question being asked, and it doesn't look ugly also. It is presented in a form where the examiner is able to understand that what is your take. If you want this as a reference, I can tell the coordinator and they can share it with you also. We have 3 topper copies with us in the form of sample copies. Okay, I was answering Rupal. Have you got your answer? Next is Ritik. Is Ritik here? No. How to aggregate study material and references. Okay. And Lakshya was attending for demo. Questions are done with. Any more questions? Any of you regarding the test series or otherwise any other question? Apart from answer writing frameworks. Anything else? Have you got the idea of what is this all about and how we are going to proceed with this? What kind of question papers we are going to have? If you have access, you can look out for previous test series also, which we have had over here. So you can have an analysis that what kind of questions are being asked. And if you're too dicey and not able to decide and all these things, rely on PYQs. PYQs are gold mine. You can take it from me, gold mine. Because I told you classical and Neanderthal type, this question was asked in 95 also. And in 2015, we had a short note. And now again, around the same concept, we are having questions. And we all know there is a considerable degree of this subject which is static. So why not master it? Make your prototype answers adhering to the word limit, which are according to your satisfaction. And then learn them, mug them up, write in the exam. That would be one of strategies which works for people as well. Okay. So no doubts anyone, right? So thank you so much for being so patient. All the very best.